Hey gang, Chris here. I'm going to share with you my newbie experience using Midjourney. So these are some images I'm going to show you that I generated based on a character I have called TROBO that was created by myself and a guy named Jeremy Scheinberg a few years ago. So yesterday I got super excited because there was a new announcement that Midjourney could have character consistency now, which is a big deal. It's a big deal if you're trying to write books or doing whatever. For example, this kind of stuff here, having the same character show up across the board and it look consistent is not a trivial thing when you're working with this kind of stuff, at least for a newbie like me. So they announced yesterday that it was possible. I got all excited, but you can't really do this prompt unless you pay for a basic subscription. So I finally dropped my $96 here for the year, and that enabled me to create the prompts necessary to try this character consistency based on an image reference. And so I'll say I'm not delighted with the results yet, but I also maybe still need some instruction and learning. So I got that installed here. All right, you go to Discord and you get your own interface once you pay for the subscription. And here's what I started out with. So this is a reference image from a plush character called TROBO, and I wanted to first just see how close I could get it with a basic prompt. And so this is the set of results I got here. They're kind of cute and all, and it might be fun for prototyping and that kind of stuff, but if you're trying to tell a story, this just doesn't work. And so the prompt needs a lot of work to get even close for a character that I'm doing with a known character. I think what's going on is that Midjourney may be really well trained for faces like human characters, but when it comes to cartoon characters, I'm not so sure, and that may be where the struggle is. But there are lots of videos out there, and the prompting supposedly is quite simple to get you something that looks good. That was not the case for me. So over here, I first started out with this prompt: a plush robot jumping and smiling. Here's my character reference, which is what allows you supposedly to have character consistency. And so that link is just the TROBO image that you see down here. And then there's a thing called character weight, and you can make it 0 to 100. 0 means super flexible, 100 means really use the character reference. And so I did that, and they're good quality images, but they're not TROBO. I said, well, okay, fine, let me change it to a different style. And so instead of just doing photorealistic, I said, what is the Pixar 3D style from one of the examples? And when I did that, it came back more like a bunch of Muppets or something. They're cute and all, but again, they're not really TROBO. And so, okay, fine. I said, well, what can I do with a line drawing style character? Maybe I could do something in line drawings, because TROBO is also a 2D character in books. That was a really, really bad example. And then finally, I just switched it around. See, notice what I was doing is I was feeding the prompt here first, and then the style. And the way the examples were like, no, you really do need to use the weight and the reference this way. So I did that, and I was encouraged. I was like, okay, I'm starting to see a little bit of TROBO come out there, some of the ears and the grayness of the character. So I finally started adding in more details. And so I started saying what the left ear looks like, the right ear, and the hat on top, etc. And this was pretty encouraging. Like this little guy in the top left, he's pretty charming. It's not the TROBO character per se, but not bad. And even here, you can start to see some of the pieces are coming together with the red hat and the ears and the hands and such. So I finally did a little deep dive, and I wrote a really detailed description of TROBO here. Again, keeping the character weight at 100, and the reference image is the same plush image. And I was like, hey, check it out. I'm starting to get close. Sort of. Like here, the colors are right, which is cool, but there's a light bulb on his head, which is not accurate. And over here, this is kind of the shape of his head, which is nice. And it seems to be recognizing that he's a plush because it's got a bunch of stitching, which is interesting. But the chest emblem is really huge, and it's not quite what I needed. And then these guys, similar, just sort of comparable results, but nothing that really gets close to the arrangement that you see here with the simple chest emblem and 3 logos, and then simple paws and feet, and etc. So I said, well, okay, let me go in and rewrite the prompt a little more. And in this case, instead of just writing it in one big paragraph like you see here with sentences, I thought I'd organize it into different lines, being very specific about each one. And honestly, same kind of results. Really didn't get anything more impressive. Really didn't get an arrangement on the bottom that matched it all. And I don't know, just kind of disappointing. So I said, okay, fine. Let me go and get the 2D drawings, because we made a game a while back. This is the actual 2D reference for Trobo in the game. And with that, I put in the same prompt as before. And this is what I got at, with the difference being line drawing here, and I don't know, still not loving it. Right, he's all kind of melty, and there's an inconsistency. And I had to swap the logo in the chest. See, the original logo was a light bulb, and we called him Edison, but unfortunately we received a cease and desist, and we couldn't use the branding, so we switched him to Newton, and now he has an Apple chest logo, as you can see here in the actual 2D drawing, which I included somewhere right there. So now it's an apple. But what you actually get when you do that is, the apple's in the middle. That looks great. The buttons look good here on this guy. Everything else is just kind of off. And here we got the apple chest, but nothing on the belly. He's got a leaf on the top of his head. I don't know. So that was kind of like, ugh. I said, well, fine. Let me do one more shot before I make the video, which is, let me go back to the plush image and the plush robot and just see with this highly detailed prompt, what can I get? And this is what I got out. Not bad. It's closer to the original Trobo image, and actually this one on the bottom right gets 3 emblems. It has a light bulb in the middle, but again, it's nowhere near the original. And up here, I kind of get the feet and the hands of their own colors, but they look close, and even got lines on the arms, which is kind of nice because he's supposed to have little metallic tube arms. But in no way have I accomplished anything near a comparable 2D image or comparable 3D image from the plush, just using basic or detailed prompting from Midjourney. And to give you an idea, what I'd do is, once I punched it in, I'd come over to Notepad++ and just keep iterating here. So I have one for the plush, one for the 2D, etc., trying to really finesse it and see what I could come up with. But so far, kind of disappointed. I'm hoping maybe by posting this video, I can get some feedback and some suggestions from those out there who are more savvy at this than I am.